Okay, so let me tell you, the AI world, it's moving so fast right now. It's like everything's changing by the minute.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. It's wild what's happening out there practically every week. There's some new massive development.
Right, so we're doing this deep dive. I think it's going to be really helpful for everyone listening because, I mean, just the headlines alone,
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
Like, you see China coming out with DeepSeek R1, and it's like, wait, they're rivaling OpenAI now. And then in the same week, you got DeepMind, and they're like, oh, yeah, those AI-designed drugs, yeah, those are in clinical trials now for cancer and neurodegenerative diseases. It's like,
And it's not just hype either, right? Like this stuff, this is really happening, and it has the potential to like fundamentally change, I mean, everything from healthcare to, the balance of global power.
it's huge. And that's why, like I said, this deep dive, we're going to cut through the noise.
Mhm.
We're going to focus on what actually matters, what you really need to know.
Exactly. We'll break it down, analyze the impact, and hopefully leave you with some food for thought.
Right. So first up, let's dig into this DeepSeek R1 thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of crazy, right? They've hit performance that's like right up there with like the top OpenAI models. But here's the thing, it's open source.
Yeah.
And way more cost efficient to run. I mean,
It's a total game changer, right?
right?
I mean, you remember that quote from Max Tegmark from MIT? He was at Davos. He said, like, trying to like restrict tech collaboration it's just foolish. And DeepSeek R1 is like the perfect example of why that is.
Yeah, totally. It's like I don't know, David and Goliath or something.
I mean,
Except David showed up with like a supercomputer this time. It's like, whoa, okay, hold on a second. What do you think? Are you surprised by how fast all this is happening? Especially with, China coming in like so strong. Jump into the conversation. Let us know your thoughts. Hit us up on Twitter at AI for the People and use the hashtag AI for the People.
Hmm.
Okay, so DeepMind, now,
Mhm.
they're not just, messing around with Go anymore. They're tackling real-world problems with AI-designed drugs.
Hmm.
And these things are already entering clinical trials.
Yeah, no
It's
kidding.
crazy.
They've got huge partners now, like Eli Lilly and Novartis. This is serious stuff.
Yeah, this isn't like, we're just researching this. This is like, no, we're going for it.
And I think it's worth pointing out that they're also tackling this problem of hallucination in AI, which, that's when the models start generating information that's it's not quite right, or sometimes it's just totally nonsensical.
Yeah.
But their new model, Gemini 2.0, they're using self-verification, and it's actually integrated with Google Search, so it's looking like it's much more accurate and reliable.
So I'm curious. I mean, does this make you feel like more optimistic about AI's potential for good? Or, are you still like on the fence about it all?
I mean, it's a tough question. It's a question everybody's going to have to grapple with themselves, but this is certainly a really positive step.
Yeah. Okay, get ready for this one because this is a wild one. NVIDIA.
Mhm.
They've come out with this thing called the Cosmos World Foundation model,
Yeah.
and it's kind of like a metaverse but for robots.
Yeah, you can kind of think of it like that. It's this massive simulation, this virtual world where AIs can learn and practice like real world skills, but in this safe environment. And that has huge implications for robotics, for autonomous vehicles, you name it.
And the crazy thing is, like, it's working. Pfizer, they're using this Cosmos thing to like speed up how they discover drugs,
Mm.
and they're seeing their cycles shortened by like 80%.
80%, that's insane. I mean, think about that. That means like life-saving advancements potentially years, maybe even decades sooner.
Right. It's mind-blowing.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder, like, what other industries are going to get, like, completely upended by this kind of technology?
Oh, I mean, the possibilities are pretty much limitless, right?
So we've got China shaking things up with these open source models, DeepMind, they're curing diseases. NVIDIA, they're building, like, robot playgrounds.
Yeah.
What else is going on in the world of AI?
Well, one of the biggest like battles going on right now is this whole debate between open source and like proprietary AI models. And, we're seeing the Chinese models like DeepSeek R1 and Dubao, they're going all in on open source. But then you've got the US giants like OpenAI and Google, and they're being much more secretive, much more protective.
Yeah, and like it's almost like a philosophical clash, right?
Right.
Like on the one hand, you got the open source people and they're like collaboration,
Yeah.
transparency, accessibility.
Right.
And then on the other side, you've got like
Yeah.
the proprietary folks and they're no, control, protecting our intellectual property. That's the key to driving innovation.
Mm.
So, where do you stand? What matters most to you? Is it that accessibility? Is it control? Is it something else entirely? let us know. We want to hear from you. Hit us up on Twitter at AI for the People, hashtag AI for the People, and let's get this conversation going.
It's a crucial debate, and it's going to have a huge impact on the future of AI. And it's not just like some theoretical thing either, right?
Right.
This has real world consequences. It affects like who benefits from AI and how it actually gets used.
Totally. Yeah. Okay, speaking of real world implications, AI in healthcare.
Oh, yeah.
This is huge.
It's incredible. I mean, one of the most exciting areas is how they're using AI for early disease detection.
Yeah.
Like in Beijing, they've got AI systems in the hospitals and they're analyzing lung nodules and they're doing it with like 80% accuracy.
Wow.
Which it speeds up diagnosis dramatically.
That's amazing because like early detection, that's key, right? For so many diseases. I mean, it could literally be the difference between, life and death.
Absolutely. And it's not just lung cancer either. They're developing similar tools for cardiovascular diseases, neurological disorders, all kinds of stuff.
This is incredible to think about the potential.
Yeah.
But I got to ask, I mean, what are some of the downsides? What are the things we need to be cautious of with AI in healthcare?
Well, I mean, that's a great question, and it's a question I think we're gonna delve into a little bit later on in this deep dive.
Right, because we've seen some of those risks playing out already, right? Like with the whole deepfake thing. I mean, these AI generated videos, they're getting so realistic that it's scary.
Oh, it's really, really
It's
scary.
hard to tell what's real and what's not.
The technology is advancing at an alarming rate.
Yeah.
And it has huge implications. I mean, for everything from like political campaigns to just, personal relationships.
Yeah. It's a chilling reminder that this AI stuff, it could be used for bad just as easily as it can be used for good.
Yeah.
It really brings up this question. And it's a question we're going to explore more in this deep dive. Should the pace of AI innovation be slowed down a little bit?
Yeah.
Like to give us time to think about the ethics, to let the safeguards catch up.
That's the $1 million question, right?
Yeah.
And there are really strong arguments on both sides of that. But before we dive into all of that, let's shift gears a little bit and look at another really interesting development that's happening in AI, the rise of humanoid robots.
Robots that look like humans.
Yeah.
Okay, that's straight out of science fiction.
Yeah.
I'm a little terrified and a lot of fascinated. What can you tell me about this?
Well, the remarkable thing is it's not science fiction anymore. According to the IR's, their 2025 Tech Impact Study, it looks like 18% of companies globally, they've already fully deployed humanoid robots in their workforce.
Oh, whoa, hold on. That's a lot higher than I would have guessed.
Yeah.
What are companies using these robots for?
It's a huge range of things. I mean, everything from like logistics and manufacturing to customer service and even healthcare. There was a manufacturing plant in Fujian, China. They reported like a 99% product quality rate after they implemented these AI-driven 5G robots.
99%. That's incredible. But I got to ask. I mean, what does this mean for human workers? Like, are their jobs at risk?
I mean, that's a valid concern, right? The rise of these humanoid robots, it definitely brings up these questions about the future of work and the potential for people to be displaced from their jobs. It's a complex issue. There are no easy answers.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's definitely something we need to grapple with, right, as AI continues to evolve. But before we get too deep into like those big societal implications, let's talk about some of the positive ways that AI is being used. Like, what about education?
Oh yeah, that's another really exciting area. We're seeing this growing trend towards personalized learning, which is all powered by AI. Imagine a world where every student has access to like a completely customized learning experience. It's tailored to their individual needs and their pace.
That sounds incredible. But what about the teachers? Are they going to be replaced by robots?
That's a fear that a lot of people have.
Oh.
But it's not necessarily the case. I mean, it's more likely that AI is gonna work alongside teachers. It's gonna free them up from a lot of the administrative tasks, and it'll allow them to really focus on what they do best, which is mentoring and inspiring their students.
Too. Okay, that's a relief. I was getting a little worried about my job security there for a second, but seriously, it's really encouraging to see that AI can be used to support and enhance what we do as humans, not just replace us.
Yeah, right. That's a really key takeaway here. AI, it's a tool, and like any tool, it can be used for good or for bad. It really comes down to us as a society, right? To guide its development and make sure that it's used ethically and responsibly.
I like that. Well said. So with all of these developments happening like so rapidly, I mean, what are some of the key initiatives and concerns in the area of like ethical AI and data privacy?
Well, on the positive side, we're seeing companies like IBM, for example. They're developing AI models that actually have like built-in bias mitigation features,
Oh,
which
wow.
is really cool. And then the EU, they're proposing like a mandatory AI literacy training for public sector employees.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Are there any like concerns about those initiatives?
Of course. I mean, there are always concerns about unintended consequences. Some critics, they worry that these measures could stifle innovation, or that they could give large corporations too much control over AI development.
Yeah, it seems like there's this like constant tension, right, between promoting innovation and making sure that things are developed ethically.
Absolutely, it's a very delicate balance.
It is. It is. I'm curious. What are people saying online about this? Like, what are the discussions that are happening?
Well, the hashtag AI regulation debate that's trending on Twitter, and
Yeah.
and you see users, they're just like fiercely debating the merits of open source versus corporate control of AI.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really fascinating to see these debates unfold like in real time.
Mm.
It really shows you that the future of AI, it's not like set in stone. It's
Mm.
something that we're actively shaping through the choices that we make, the actions that we take.
Right. It's a collaborative process in a way.
It is. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so important for everyone to be like informed, engaged, and involved in these conversations.
Mm.
I mean, the future of AI, it's not something that's just going to like happen to us.
Yeah.
It's something that we're creating together.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's empowering to think that we have, that we have a say in how all of this unfolds. But before we wrap up, we have one more exciting development to share with you. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Stay tuned.
Mhm.
So before we went to, oh wow, not really a break, but we were just about to tell you some big news.
Yeah, this is huge.
Yep.
Remember how you were talking about, the whole open versus closed AI models thing?
Yeah.
Well, get this. The lines are getting a little bit blurry because
Yeah.
Google just announced that they're going to give select developers and researchers access to their Gemini Pro model,
Yeah.
which is like it's a real head scratcher, right?
Yeah.
Because Google has been so like secretive about their AI projects.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, very much so. I think they're feeling the heat though from this whole open source movement. I mean, the success of DeepSeek R1 and Dubao, it's definitely shaking things up.
Yeah, it shows that like the AI world, it's anything but predictable, right?
Right.
Companies are having to adapt on the fly,
Right.
which makes things interesting for us.
Absolutely. And I think, for users, it means more access to these powerful AI tools, which, hopefully will lead to even more innovation.
But of course, right.
Hmm.
With more access comes more responsibility. We can't forget about the ethical implications of all of this.
No, absolutely not. That's a really crucial point. We can't get so caught up in like the excitement of new AI that we forget to think about, like
Yeah.
the potential consequences.
And that's why we're having this conversation.
Exactly.
We want to make sure that, you understand the landscape, both the good and the maybe not so good.
Right.
Speaking of not so good, remember those deep fakes that we were talking about earlier?
Yeah.
I mean, the tech behind them, it's evolving so quickly, and it's getting harder and harder to tell what's real and what's fake online.
Oh, it's terrifying how quickly it's advancing. The potential for, misinformation and manipulation is just enormous.
Yeah, it's a little unnerving, isn't it?
It really is. And that's why, you're seeing some experts they're pushing for like stricter regulations, things like, watermarking all AI generated content.
But wouldn't that like limit creativity or even freedom of expression?
Well, yeah, that's the other side of the argument, right? It's a really complex issue. It doesn't have any easy answers, but the one thing that is for sure is that we need to be talking about it.
We do. Okay, so we've got deep fakes on like one side of the spectrum.
Mhm.
But on the other side, we have the potential for AI to do a lot of good in the world, especially in healthcare.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, remember those AI systems that we were talking about in the hospitals in Beijing? I mean, they're diagnosing lung nodules with 80% accuracy,
Yeah.
which is so much faster than the traditional methods.
And like early detection, that's crucial for so many diseases, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it could literally mean the difference between like life and death for some people.
Without a doubt. And it's not just lung cancer either. They're using AI to develop early detection tools for cardiovascular diseases and neurological disorders too.
It's amazing to think about like the potential impact that this could have on global health.
It's incredible, really.
It is, but let's not forget about all the other areas where, AI is really making waves. What about education?
Oh my gosh, education.
Yeah.
Over 30% of schools are actually planning to implement AI-powered personalized learning tools this year.
That's incredible. Imagine a world where like every student has access to a learning experience that's like specifically designed for their needs and their learning style.
It's a game changer for education, really. It has the potential to like level the playing field and give every student the opportunity to reach their full potential.
But what about the teachers? Will they be replaced by like robots or something?
No, that's a common fear, but it's not necessarily what's going to happen. It's more likely that AI is going to work alongside teachers. It'll free them up from a lot of those administrative tasks and allow them to really focus on what they do best, which is things like mentoring and inspiring their students.
Right. Yeah, it's about using AI to enhance human capabilities, not replace them.
Exactly, and we're seeing this trend in other fields as well. The adoption of humanoid robots in businesses, it's surging. 18% of global companies have already fully deployed humanoid robots, and another 35% are planning to integrate them this year.
Whoa. Humanoid robots?
Mm-hmm.
Like actual robots that look like humans?
Yeah.
What are companies using them for?
Oh, it's a wide range of tasks. We're seeing them being used in logistics, in manufacturing, customer service, even healthcare. There was a manufacturing plant in Fujian, China. They reported a 99% product quality rate after they implemented AI-driven 5G robots.
A 99% improvement.
That's
It's amazing. But I got to ask, I mean, what does that mean for human workers? Are their jobs at risk?
Well, I mean that's a very valid concern, right? As AI and robotics continue to advance, we need to really carefully consider the potential impact on the workforce.
Yeah, it's a very complex issue. There are no easy answers.
No, there really aren't. It's a topic that deserves careful consideration and discussion as we move forward.
Absolutely. So to kind of sum up everything that we've talked about so far, we've got Google making this surprising move towards like open source AI. We've got deep fakes evolving at like an alarming rate. We've got AI revolutionizing healthcare and education, and we've got humanoid robots entering the workforce.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot to take in.
It really is. It's just a glimpse of what's happening in the rapidly evolving world of AI, right?
Yeah. So what's the takeaway for our listeners? What should they be thinking about as they try to navigate this complex landscape?
I think the most important thing is to stay informed, stay engaged, and don't be afraid to ask questions.
Exactly. The future of AI, it's not like predetermined. It's something that we're all shaping together. So let's make sure that we're, having the right conversations, that we're making informed choices.
Absolutely. Yeah. And if you want to be a part of those conversations, be sure to follow us on Twitter at AI for the People and use the hashtag AI for the People.
We'd love to hear your thoughts on all of this. What are your hopes and fears about AI? What do you think the future holds? Hit us up on Twitter. Let's talk. And don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to our channel, and follow us on social media to stay ahead of the AI revolution. We'll be right back with one last thought to leave you with Nufflet. Stay tuned. All right, we're back. And we wanted to leave you with one final thought.
Yeah, we've talked about a lot in this deep dive, everything from, China challenging OpenAI to the potential of AI in healthcare and the rise of humanoid robots.
Yeah, and it's clear that the AI landscape, it's changing at like an unbelievable pace. And with all of this change, there's both a lot of excitement and a lot of uncertainty.
Definitely. So as we wrap up this episode, we wanted to leave you with a question, something to think about as you continue to explore this world of AI.
Here it is. If AI development keeps going at this like breakneck speed, if we don't like pause to address the potential risks, what will the world even look like in 5 years?
I mean, will it be a utopia where AI has like solved all our problems and is making our lives better in countless ways? Or will it be like a dystopian future where AI has spiraled out of control?
It's a question that doesn't have an easy answer. But it's a question that we all need to be asking ourselves as we navigate this uncharted territory.
Right. The future of AI, it's not predetermined. It's something that we are all shaping together through our choices and our actions.
So we really encourage you to join the conversation. Share your thoughts, share your hopes, share your concerns.
Yeah, hit us up on Twitter. You can find us at AI for the People. And
Yep.
use the hashtag AI for the People.
Let's work together to make sure that AI is a force for good in the world.
And on that note, that's a wrap on this episode of The Deep Dive.
If you found this deep dive insightful, thought-provoking, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to our channel, and follow us on social media to stay ahead of the AI revolution.
And until next time,
Stay curious.